Welcome to Gray Overload. I'm Anthony, and GPU prices are finally dropping. Now, they've been dropping for a little bit. Now, we've had a multitude of things I think that is contributing to this, but we have new GPUs around the corner that have been rumored from Nvidia and AMD. I mean, we could throw Intel in there, but does anyone really know if they will release a GPU here soon? I mean, I'm kind of getting a little worried here. They were supposed to compete with this generation, and it seems more and more Intel will release them after the next generation gets released from both AMD and Nvidia, but I digress. Then we also have, cryptocurrency. It has fallen from grace. They're at its all-time highs. But then we also have a recession basically around the world that is happening, and people are more willing to hold on to their money than to spend it in this economy. So, with that, there's been kind of a hey, let's see what do you really want to get out of this? And people that need to sell or want to sell are selling them as a it seems as a discount right now. They were a little bit up today when I went through them, but they're starting to get to a point where it's like, hey, maybe I want to try out one of these current generation cards. I have a Vega 64, and maybe I'll see kind of what the fuss was all about with all this. I got to try out, the high refresh rate monitor that I own, but I can't use because my graphics card doesn't support it, and have some benefits there. So there's a lot of different things that I think you can kind of say, hey, this is the price I want for this product. If I see it here below, then I'll decide to buy it. And you can just sit and wait for this. I don't think it's a time to rush out and buy, right? We've already been in that time period where everyone had the fear of missing out. Now it's time to sit back and say, okay, this is it. I know that there's a new generation coming. Heck, I could even wait. If I can wait for the new generation and get it even cheaper, maybe that's the case, right? And you kind of, I check every day for these cards on eBay. I haven't really looked at new, but I know what I've seen of new was Newegg sending me an email every day saying not safe for wallets, of how to, and it's just full of GPUs every day on how they're discounting them. So I think they're trying to get rid of some. And it's going to be interesting to see how these companies react to the next generation pricing. Is the pricing going to be just as high, or are they going to do a super high Halo product and charge just immense amount of money for that, and then bring everything down back to the pack, knowing we're going into a time period where it doesn't seem like there's a driving force on to increase the price, right? Are people willing to jump through hoops to get that top end product and pay just a whole bunch of money when you're going into a recession or in a recession, really? Oh, and there's no cryptocurrency that's swallowing up all the product along with gamers at the same time to really drive demand through the roof. Is that it? If that's not the case, then how much are you going to really charge? That's going to be an interesting thing. Also, what are you going to do if you have too much stock? Right? You got to clear that stock, and you want to clear it down to a thing so you don't have too much inventory in your shelves or back at the warehouse, because that's all going against your books financially as well. Is there something there that is causing a little issue here on when products will be released? Who knows, right? This is all going to come out, and do people really want to sell at a loss when it's happened? Now, you can say they bought the GPUs at a too high a price, and I agree with you there. They were selling them at a too high of MSRP. I would agree with you there too. But this is the result of their own doing, right? If you aren't prepping yourself, especially with how long it ran, right? I don't know if they thought it was going to last forever. I still see them, Nvidia and AMD trying to charge an obscene amount of money at least for one of their GPUs, if not multiples. But I also see them at the same time seeing it. Well, if you're going into kind of all these headwinds, it's going to be hard for some people to justify that, even if they're into, buying a new graphics card every year and having that top of line machine. I've had this build, Threadripper build, for a while now. It has a Vega 64. At some point in time, I do want to upgrade it, but I'm not willing to pay an arm and a leg for it. So we will see when I upgrade. Maybe I get something to upgrade just the GPU now, just to mess around with it. You know, I've been looking between the 6800s, 6700s, 3070s, 3080s, someplace in there. I really don't want to spend all the way up, but I've heard some people where they've been able to get a 3090 for 800 bucks. I mean, that's a holy moly, right? That's a discount on where they were 6 months ago. A huge discount. And let's say you paid 27, 28, 2900 for something like that, and now you're reselling it for that because it's, you know, you're trying to get out and at least get some value out of it. That's going to also drive prices even lower, because then people are going to be like, oh, I need to get rid of this quick, and I want to sell it $5 cheaper. I want to sell this $5 cheaper, right? Get it out of my hands before I get stuck with it, right? And it's going to even be a bigger loss. So there could be a run on these to get out of them, especially when you know there's new chips coming out here fairly soon. You're in this conundrum, right? If you spend too much on a product and going back and forth, and if you're Nvidia, AMD, and everything else. So it'll see, right? Intel, I almost feel like Intel missed their window for this release cycle. And if they would have actually hit it, they could have made a dent and been, you know, a supplement product in a market where demand was driven so high, people would have bought it just to have a graphics card. And now they're kind of in the window of, hey, Nvidia and AMD may actually release before us. And if they do, our products are even less attractive. I really, really wanted them to have an attractive product. More competition is better, but come on, Intel. Let's start throwing some strikes instead of just not being anywhere near the plate. With that, let me know what your thoughts are. When are you going to buy a new graphics card? Are you sitting and waiting for a used one? Maybe a new one that maybe drops in price from this generation, or are you waiting for the new generation? Or just going to sit it out, and when the prices hit where you want them to be, you're going to buy. With that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for helping support Gray Overload and help this channel grow. I really appreciate it. Until next time, God bless, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.